Welcome back to another OhmLab tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about filters, what they are, how they work, and how you can actually make your own with a basic EQ. Now we are using Logic Pro for this tutorial as usual, but you do not need Logic to do this. You can use any program you like. We're actually going to take a look at two different types of filter sweeps, if you will. And let's not allow this to be intimidating in any way. A filter is simply an EQ curve, and that's it. That's all it is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into this. We've selected this bass. Okay, and it's going to go with this beat here. All right, so pretty basic stuff. And what we're going to do first is just start off with a very simple sweep. And for that, we're just going to use a single band EQ. It's nothing fancy. You're going to see that by default, this one is set to a low cut EQ mode, which is perfect for our needs. We'll go ahead and turn on our automation, select it from the menu, and we're going to choose frequency. And you'll notice that as soon as I create a marker and I start moving this around, that you'll see this frequency slider move as well. You can see the values change there. So what we're going to do is just quickly create two more automation points and move our scrub head over to measure 9 so we can zoom in nice and tight. We'll want this one pretty much right on the money, but this second one we're going to want just after the beginning of this. Okay, so there's a little bit of a taper here, and that is so there isn't any oddities come playback time. The other thing you can do to make this go as smoothly as possible is use the automation curve tool. I think all DAWs have this by now, and we'll just go ahead and change the shape of our curve so it fits the mood of dance music a little bit better, and we'll play this back. All right, so nothing to write home about. It's not very exciting. It's just a basic EQ sweep. Now, most people consider it just that, an EQ sweep. It's not a filter sweep until there's something else involved, like resonance. Okay, so let's do that. Let's take a look at exactly what resonance is and how we can set that up on our own. So let's grab just a regular EQ. And we're going to be using two tools inside this EQ. First is going to be our low cut down here, and then we're also going to use this first peak here. And this peak is actually going to be resonance. Okay, this is what we're commonly referring to as resonance. Now, your bandwidth, also called Q, is also important. You can see that the wider it is, the more frequencies it's affecting, and if this is being set into motion, that can create some issues. So we want to make sure that we've got this dialed in a bit, so we can control this. So now that we have those two things set and activated, when we go ahead and go into our automation and select our parameters, first we want the low cut frequency. The position of those things will already be set for us. So just one less thing to do. Another time saver is to, before we start clicking around on that first selection, is to go back in here and check our second automation parameter, which is going to be the peak 1 frequency. Okay, and we'll go ahead and we'll create a couple of points here in this one. And the reason why we did that is purely an efficiency thing. Okay. So we're going to do all of this at once so we don't have to go do a lot of back and forth. Okay, we'll set up the other one here really quick. And the reason why we put the playhead right at the beginning of the measure here is so we can zoom in easily. In most DAWs, the zoom tool is tethered to the playhead position. Use that to your advantage. just about done here. Again, you'll want to make sure that the last automation point is just after the beginning of the measure and right before the other audio begins playing. So just make sure that we've got these in the right spot, and you can see the other automation curve in the background here. So we'll just go ahead and match that up and zoom out just a little bit so we can get some better perspective and make our curve change. We'll want to do that to both of our automation lines here. So that's just changing it from being a linear curve to a traditional curve. That's all. Let's go ahead and listen to see what that sounds like. You can see the automation happening down here in the EQ. Alright, yeah, that's not bad. Of course, with anything like this, you'll probably want to put something in here to keep clipping from happening. This isn't a tutorial on that, but we'll just go ahead and show you one easy way to do that. Just all right, that really is it. So when you're looking at resonance on a filter plugin, or perhaps on a filter panel on a synth or something, and you see resonance and you start tweaking that, that's exactly what that is this peak EQ curve right here. And then the cutoff itself is the position of this low end cut here in the EQ sweep. So as we move our playhead, you can see that the cutoff of this filter is changing over time. And this EQ curve right here, the peak, is your resonance. So if you want more resonance, or if you want it to potentially affect just a little bit more of the frequency range, you just size it up a little bit. And that's it. That is building a quick filter in an EQ in a nutshell. And of course, there are many different types of filters out there, and we encourage you to just look it up. Look up what a double notch is, and look up what a band pass is, and look up the difference between a high pass and a low pass filter. What's the difference between a 2, 4, 8, and 12 pole low pass? All the answers are waiting for you out there on the internet, but this is how you actually go about setting it up in an EQ yourself. Hope it made sense. Hope it helps you out. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you again soon. Cheers.